All right. Welcome everyone to session 70 of New Horizons, and the last for now. Um, we have we are missing our usual recapper, unfortunately, but I can tell you that there's been some rapid developments in the world of particularly Saoirse and Cade. Uh, they uh, they returned from everyone returned from Mari Senora, having met Java, now Cecil's family, his parents, and learned some more about his upbringing, and still left plenty of questions unanswered. Left him with lots more to go and find out. Um, they returned with Cade calling in a favor and hatching a plot to evade the attentions of the Tabukan nobility, and particularly the women who went to try to court him now that he's son of a king. And that plan, when presented to Cade's father, more or less backfired spectacularly.
Yeah.
Ending with them borderline engaged, all but in the eyes of his father, and with tidbits being leaked to the media by who knows what manner, but one way or the other, the pressure has intensified. Uh, the next day saw the arrival of a gossip magazine featuring Saoirse prominently, front page. Sorry, on the cover, I should say. Um, and you know, putting their whole relationship under a magnifying glass and in the spotlight. So, um, next couple of days have passed relatively uneventfully, other than trying to avoid media attention as much as possible, and trying to formulate plans for what the crew is going to do in the near future. Uh, because Brother Nick and Nero both received positive news about their applications to become Tabukan ambassadors, um, whereas Saoirse and Java did not. And of course, Kate is already got a role with the Tabukan government. To be more clearly defined, but he's already got enough pressure from his father. Um, so Brother Nick and Nero have been discussing their plans for leading efforts to reconcile Tabuk with Yorala, to make progress towards a more stable peace, and particularly helping with the reconstruction efforts on Yorala with a combination of crowdsourced funding, little trickle from the crew fund, and also with some goodwill gifts from the new Tabukan king. And Java has been talking about acquiring some way or another, either buying or perhaps taking out a loan for a small ship to go and pursue his former crew, try to get closure on events that happened with them, and try to fill in more gaps in his memory. And Saoirse has been an active listener and helping everyone talk through their plans, but hasn't been decisive yet about her own plans. And I believe that should pretty much cover it. Did anything I overlooked that you guys wanted to mention?
No.
Not I.
Okay. Danielle, sound good?
I'll probably listen back to it later. I was having trouble focusing.
Oh,
I
okay.
was reading over notes.
That's all right. Yeah, so that brings us to following morning, um, in the early hours when Nero awakes.
Hmm.
Um, she's going about her routine, uh, getting up and ready for the morning when she receives a ping on her compad, and it's a message from Saoirse.
All right. She deletes it. No.
Oh,
Wait
right.
a second.
No. She
All
reads
right,
it.
not everybody.
Hey, it's okay. I can work with that.
Of course, she reads it.
Dex has spoken about his preferences for the day.
Uh, it just contains a video file.
Okay. Yeah, she watches it.
Okay. So
I mean, it's better than reading a wall of text.
it's
So
true.
this is good for her.
All right. Okay. Um, she. Oh goodness. Of course, I'm immediately deviating from my notes. Slight retcon.
Oh,
She is. She. Oh goodness gracious. Hmm. Hold on. I'm terrible at this.
Error. DM rebooting.
Hmm. Okay. I think I need a sip of lemonade. Recharge the capacitors here.
Really hurts when you run out of that flux capacitor juice.
Hmm. The GM's creative batteries are sloshing around a little bit.
mm,
Also need to double check something here on my notes before I proceed too much further. Okay. All right. Um, Needed to get my bearings there real quick. All right, we're fine. No need to retcon.
okay.
All is peachy keen. So she's
Peachy.
super peachy.
I thought you said
Um,
PG King for a second, and I was like, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
this stream is so family friendly. There's a new classification of PG. It's PG teen.
Got it. Thank you
Mhm.
for clarifying. Got it.
Anyway, so Nero starts up the video. and notices that the video is on Saoirse. And she seems to be driving in one of the rental cars, and you can see outside the windows that it's dark inside.
Continue.
Well,
Oh,
I bet you never thought that you'd see me up before you. And I haven't even had coffee yet. That's saying a lot. Just give me a second here. It's very odd trying to drive these things on this planet.
She's messing with the seatbelt.
All right. Ready to go? Sorry for rushing out so short notice, but I figured it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission, so here I go. ah, well, I did get some coffee. Just a little bit, though. Well, I'm blathering on, aren't I? Well, the thing is, I had somewhere important to be, and, well, I'd been putting it off for long enough, that's for sure. I think if I'd asked you, you would have helped, but, well,
She trails off and seems to be pulling the car to a stop. Puts it in park and starts rustling around in the car, looking for gathering her pack and some stuff that she's got in the seats. Has a fairly anxious expression on her face. Some visible efforts to keep a cool face, but Nara knows her.
well,
Um,
oh, I figure this is the sort of thing that if I tried to say it to your face, you'd probably punch me, or you'd tell me to sod off because you didn't want to hear it. Um, but it's long overdue that I just tell you that I really appreciate having a Nero in my life. And even though you're a pain, well, how do I put this? Even though there are times that I have tried to hamster wheel my way to happiness where you're involved, for the most part, I don't know if I've ever had a friend as good as you. And honestly, goodness, this mirror won't stay put. Um, I'm not sure who I'd be if I'd never met you. And that's saying a lot because, as you know, I can be a lot of people, but I'm talking about me, the real me at least. And, well, thanks.
all right. As she comes to another pause, she seems to be smirking with the irony of her latest sentence as her face changes to become Nafia.
Hmm.
And she goes ahead, picks up her pack, exits the car, and uh, shoulders everything, and starts walking through what you can see looks like a subdivision, and there's maybe the barest hint of pre-dawn light in in the sky, trying to compete with the stars.
The thing is, of all the times that we've been through crazy adventures together, I, I honestly think you always kind of look to me and you're wondering what you should be doing. But to be honest, yeah, you always do the right thing. And that's inspiring. Even when I'm being lazy and I don't want to do the right thing, or I've got some gripe that doing the right thing will mean everybody else wants me to do the right thing for them too. Uh, you always made sure to be real clear about what it was that I should be doing. And you always made sure you were doing it as well. And I've been putting off doing the right thing, at least the right thing for me. And I feel like if I put it off any longer, it wouldn't be right. And, well,
She pauses as she walks up a couple of steps, and you catch in the corner of the videos as it jostles around a little bit, front door of a house, reaches out, opens the front door with a click and a little squeak, and steps into the house.
well, anyway, sorry, one moment. I I never intended for things to go as far as they have with Cade. And, I thought maybe we'd pretend to be together and, maybe his father'd have a right heart attack or something, but I didn't expect it to go as well with his da as it did. Um, and I sure as you'll know, did not intend for news of me and pictures of me to be spreading around from here to high ground. Um, that wasn't part of the plan. And Cade, he's nice, and he deserves someone who's wild about him, even if he doesn't think it. But as nice as a future with him sounds, or at least fun, I mean, giving him a heart attack every other day wouldn't be too half bad, I suppose.
Hmm.
But if I don't take care of some other things first, I wouldn't be doing anyone any favors. It would just end up putting Cade and his family and you, and more importantly, it would put the only family I have left in danger. And I don't I don't know if I could live with myself. Of all the bad things I've done, Nero, I'm not sure that's a bad thing I could live with.
Um, she pauses to set down her bags, and reaches out and hear the brief scrape of wood on floor as as a bed floats to the side, and she opens a trap door. At this point, uh, if Narrows hasn't already been getting the sinking feeling,
I
she
think
certainly
she
does now.
recognizes the place.
Yeah. Um, if you don't mind a little creative liberty,
Mhm.
Narrow goes to goes quickly to check Saoirse's room, finds the door unlocked and the bed neatly made. All of Saoirse's stuff is gone, and there is sitting kind of center towards the top is a little envelope, and it's just written on the front in Saoirse's handwriting is Cade.
Hmm.
But anticipating what she fears, she continues watching the video. Saoirse gets her stuff and starts climbing down the ladder, that some of it floating above her to keep her hands free. And she comes to the secure door at the bottom and walks through untroubled, dismissing the AI attendant that greets her as Nafia.
All right. I'm pretty sure I have privacy again. Bollocks, that ladder is long. I forgot how much effort it is actually climbing down that thing. Anyway, uh, please don't be mad at me. I just knew I couldn't tell you all sooner because I knew at least some of you, well, I knew at least some of you would come with me. And I just, I just couldn't risk taking you someplace you might not come back from. I still remember our time on Yorola, and I still remember having to bring Jova and Brother Nick and Jova and others back, and it was scraping the bottom of the barrel for me. And even though I can put a heartbeat back in a chest, it's the sort of thing that stays with you. And I know you're good, Nero, at dodging things, but I didn't want to think about having to do that with you. And I have to do this. And maybe I'll succeed and I'll see you all again. And if Kadir has managed to keep a ring off his finger by then maybe we'll irritate each other for many moons yet. But until then, I've sent you a map with all the places I stashed Twinkies for you. Some good snacks here and there, and hope you won't mind that I took one of your sweatshirts. I had it for some time, and it was fairly comfortable. Probably reeks of me at this point. Don't think you'd want it back. But look after everyone for me, and
She puts her let's see, I guess she's pointed the yeah, she's holding the compad. She sets it down for a second to put a vac suit helmet on and click it in place over the suit you can now see she was wearing. And she picks the compad back up, and you can see tears welling up in her eyes and the blurry reflection of holographic screen as she's operating the control panel. Her voice is only a bit muted, but you can still hear her take a deep breath and clear her throat.
But Nero, don't keep doubting yourself. You have always known the right thing to do. Just keep doing it. And hopefully I'll see you again later.
And she ends the video,
Oof.
and another little image file has arrived in in Nero's messages.
Is it a map?
It is a map.
Nero sits down on Saoirse's bed. She doesn't think it will reach her, but Nero quickly types a little heart emoji, send it to Saoirse, and then she just lays back on Saoirse's bed. She's gonna be there for a while. Can probably fade to black on that.
Okay.
Unless you had more to go. I don't want to cut you short.
Oh no, you're good. Knowing that that's fine if Nero would spend some time laying there. Um, some little while later, after Brother Nick has finished his morning prayers, he would Nero would hear a soft knock on the door, and in would come Brother Nick, looking a bit confused and holding 3 bottles of Nevian whiskey.
Nero has been crying.
Ethan, you're welcome to go ahead and take the reins. But yeah, he basically came out and found these 3 bottles sitting right outside his door with a little note on them that read, "In case I don't come back, enjoy these. In case I do, save a glass for me."
Yeah, I guess shaking a bottle is a way of saying goodbye, I take it.
Yes.
Any
Nero
idea where she's gone?
crinkles her nose a little bit. Says, I got the better gift. And I think Brother Nick has known Nero long enough to see that she's lying when she shakes her head.
Yeah, I guess he'll know not to press her on it and say, well, I believe our paths will cross again. Those most important to us always find a way back into our lives, I think. Until then, I guess we'll both have to enjoy our gifts and make the most of the time we have given to us.
enjoy them quick. We should leave soon.
That eager to be an ambassador?
There are things to be done. Things we need
Yes,
to
I
do.
think we still have a long to-do list before things in either sector will be fully settled. And some things on my personal to-do list as well.
Mhm. Um, so there's an envelope on the bed that's labeled for Cade, um,
Mhm.
and you notice that tucked under it was also another one that is addressed to Java. Um, Avery not being here, I'll just go ahead and I think we could just go ahead and tell everybody what's in the envelope. Danielle.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read it off? Or do
No,
you
you can.
want to break from the voice? Okay. So uh in the note in the envelope to Java, there's a little note and a spent bullet. Uh,
Hmm.
and the note says, "This was from the first time I saved your life. Please remember you're worth saving, and you can be a good man, no matter what name you choose to go by." And I guess we oughta uh, give Cade his note.
Yeah, Nero.
And
When she's finally ready to start her day, a bit later than usual. She'll tell Brother Nick that she's going to the palace with Cade's note and make her way through. I imagine that having served as Cade's personal bodyguard for a while, uh, she's either not challenged or barely challenged.
yeah, she's definitely a known quantity. Uh, and after she's subjected to just a brief security check and glance from a Metascion, then she is cleared to go.
Okay. Yeah,
And
she walks with purpose.
all right. Um, um, then yeah, I guess when she arrives at Cade's office, she's directed there. He's already at work, and finds him looking harried, uh, sifting through notes and with multiple data slabs laid out and mounted in various places around him as he's trying to uh, trying to keep up with his princely duties.
Yeah, unless she's made to, or unless somebody does it for her, I don't think she knocks.
No, they would. She would be past the point where they're. This is not an official enough chamber for her to be announced or anything.
Okay.
Guards outside the door will just give her a nod and let her do her thing.
Cato barely even spare a glance. He's kind of used to this by now.
We need to go somewhere private.
And he'll put his stylus down, look at her, and see the expression on her face, and like quietly wonder to himself, say, okay.
And he would know. So his father's actually not in the office at the moment, but he could send out his
Yeah.
attendants and the guards in the room as well. They needed a moment alone.
Yeah, and that's where what he would do is he would be like just pausing and just thinking about it for a moment, and then look at the nearest staff member and say, clear the room.
They bow. Yes, of course, my prince. And they'll do as you bid.
Yeah, once they're by themselves, he'll look askance at Nero and say, what's going on, Nero? You don't usually look this serious these days.
She kind of fumbles her hands, wrings her hands a little bit, and then pulls the note out of the inside pocket of the trench coat she has taken to wearing.
Mm.
She kind of looks over at the door just as a kind of a final glance of, yep, it's closed,
Mm-hmm.
and hands it to him.
He'll crack it open and, of course, recognize the handwriting by this point.
Yeah, and he'll see inside the envelope both a note, but also a familiar small vial that he knows to contain a particularly potent drug. So
he'll pale a little bit seeing that.
But yeah, he'll take out the note and look it over, and I think it would. Do you think he would read it out loud at first, or would he read it over himself before reading it out loud to Nero?
I think he'd read it aloud. They're good enough friends, so.
Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and I'll read it for you here.
Wait, real quick.
Hmm?
Would you like to read it, or do you want me to read it?
Oh, you can read it. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, awesome.
So getting it either in Saoirse's voice or having Cade read it aloud, either one would be great.
Which would you prefer, Robert?
Probably you.
Okay. All right. So Cade opens up the letter, and upon seeing the familiar writing, this is what he reads. To my dear sack of tacks, as much as the thought of kissing you in front of all of Tabuk fills me with such wonderful nausea, forgive me for putting off your eternal torment in unholy matrimony to me. Hopefully you can tell King Di that the pressure of the tabloids got to me, and that I left to break the news to my family in person as a way to get away from it all. Here's hoping that buys you some time from the crazies. At least the ones that Nero has to punch, or shove, or throw, or whatever.
Nero corrects.
In all seriousness, thanks for all the good times. That one awkward hug and the verbal jousting I will remember fondly, mostly. Thanks for your friendship and for forcing me to be a decent person, sometimes against my will. Please take care of Nero. I'm worried about her and the others for me until I return. I promise I will try my best. You can't get away from me that easily. All my coffee and verbal jabs, insert here. Your captain and betrothed, Sarah Shawelo.
I think Kate would go through a variety of facial expressions. And
P.S. He'll notice on there is a
Oh no.
back of the letter. Does he?
okay,
Does
he'll
he?
read
A
that too.
little
Yeah.
arrow to turn off. Okay. Um. Don't freak out. I'm not trying to poison you. It's more to show you that I won't be using it on anyone else. I figured that's what you'd want.
Oh.
I mean, he'll smile at that. But then he'll kind of like drop his hand to his side, still holding the letter with a bit of a odd look on his face, and then say, I guess this is what it feels like when someone else runs on you.
She's not running.
He's never been on the receiving end of this before. No, okay.
I mean, Cade will pat Nero's shoulder and say, maybe, maybe not.
He's like, oh no, a taste of my own medicine. Sorry, that's not canon.
Nah. Now he'd be more like, I just don't know if I'm supposed to wait or not.
Real quick, Danielle, I've got a question that I've addressed to you.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, so did Kate say that out loud, wondering if he was supposed to wait or not?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
literally says out loud, like, I don't know. I guess this is what it feels like to be the one who's been run from, and then like, I don't know if I'm even supposed to wait or not.
Nara does stop listening about 2/3 of the way through that and shrugs herself out from under his comforting hand on the shoulder. And is he still sitting, or is he did he sit back at his desk, or is he standing?
He would have stood up when reading the letter.
Okay. She goes and sits in his chair and reaches under his desk, pulls something. It sounds like pulling tape off of the underside of his desk. And then the familiar crinkle of a Twinkie wrapper. Everybody knows that sound now.
Yup, and he totally would just laugh. And then lean on the wall and just cross his arms and look mildly confused and thoughtful.
Well, he's getting half a Twinkie shoved towards him.
Oh, thanks, Nero.
She'll come back. She left a map. She'll come back.
I know. She will.
All right. Well, I think that's a fitting close to that scene.
Yeah.
And on that note, we are officially putting our New Horizons Arc 1 on hiatus and picking up New Horizons 2.0. Electric Boogaloo, something like
All right.
that.
I want to say first of all that was beautiful.
Yep. That was actually a twist I did not see coming, but
Yes. I just powered up when you said that.
yeah, that was kind of unexpected, but well played. Well played.
Well, Ben and I were talking about it at one point, and he was like, while it's like really funny the idea of like her and Cade getting stuck into a betrothal, I don't feel like it doesn't make as much sense that she'd actually stick around for it. That she would just be like, okay, guess I'm gonna be a princess now. Teehee.
Especially given some of the conversation we'd already had about what she, her background was like and what some of her kind of triggers would be.
Yeah. And that's fair.
Yeah.
And what's funny is it's still like it got far enough that it still could basically give him some cover for a while. It's like, oh yeah, hey, we needed to announce the engagement before she went off. She had an important trip she needed to make, but she'll be back sometime, and then just keep putting off questions. But leaving it public enough that most people would respect something like that.
Most.
Well, and just to point out that Saoirse did not learn or did not realize how to change her features until midway through the New Horizons campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, just that like
what she wants us to believe.
her pictures being circulated. I was telling Ben, I was like, the moment she changes into Nafia's appearance, like the whole group's gonna be like, so much plot twisting that could be had.
I legitimately.
Yeah.
I mean, I wondered. I was like, when that happens, everybody's mind's gonna go like, wait a second, we have seen them in the same place at the same time, right? Are we 100% sure of that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is kind of the thing where it would be like, I don't know, you could go the conspiracy theory route on it for like Saoirse and all that, but I don't feel like the crew would just jump there to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
No,
Nero
not
is. I was gonna say Nero is keeping that to herself.
We would definitely look twice at Nafia, though.
Well, Nero's keeping that to herself.
You're saying the video Nero kept to herself?
Yeah. I think so. At some point, I was trying to figure out if I could work this in and still, keep it poignant. At some point, Nero will declare that Saoirse has until she has found and eaten all of the Twinkies. That's how long. That's how long Saoirse has to come back.
Man, it's a good thing she left a very extensive list.
Now, Nero's not.
Better hope some of them were on other planets.
Also, if Saoirse and Cade ever do get married, I am making part of their vows this line that Cade said to Saoirse at one point. I'm here because I choose to be, and if I'm banjaxed while you're leading us, then just try to put me back together again.
Yep.
Nice. I was gonna say the map that Saoirse left for Nero unfolds into a sector map.
Well, it doesn't.
Like every single location of interest marked, I'm betting.
It doesn't truly have to be that extensive. Nero, first of all, has Urala, And then
Mhm.
she's not going to like make it the amazing race to get all the Twinkies. It's gonna be a paced. I miss
Mhm.
Saoirse. I'm going to go get a Twinkie now.
Yeah. Yeah,
I did almost cry at the end when you said, like, she'll come back. She left a map. She'll come back. I was like, shut the front door right now. Stop talking.
Yeah. Yep.
I just love the idea that she's been secretly planting Twinkies in various places for a while now.
That is
Almost
fun.
specifically in preparation for this time, like knowing she would need to give Nero something to occupy her and remember her
Hmm.
by. But
Also, a
anywho,
form of apology. I'm
right.
sorry I'm running off like this. Please accept all these Twinkies
Allow me to apologize in Twinkie form.
in Twinkie form. Yes.
All right, well, let's go ahead and gear up, switch gears to our new crew. So, how do you guys want to do? I think we're ready to pretty much jump into scene 1. We've done plenty of like uh pre uh pre-session stuff. Oh, wait a second. Dex, for purposes of the VODs and stuff, do you want to like stop it and start it up again?
Sure, we could do that.
Okay. Just thought that might be easier than trying to fish around in the middle of a video for where the new session started.
All right. But I do insist that before we do that, we decide on a name. If it is New Horizons 2, sorry about all.
Electric Boogaloo.
No.
Man, okay, I think that's the third or fourth time that Dex has vetoed that, so we probably have to take his word for it.
All right, fine.
He vetoed Newer Horizons?
No, New Horizons 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh. Horizons.
But like, but New Horizons 2 is not like off the table. That was what I had just been saying because I hadn't thought of anything else. That there's a part of me that feels like that's kind of lame, but I'm also I hadn't really thought of anything else. Nobody
Naming
else
is hard.
Yeah.
It is. Um,
We could name it Larry.
I don't actually need the name immediately. I did want to put it at the forefront of our consciousness, though,
Yeah.
in that it doesn't have to be New Horizons or 2 or Newer Horizons, but we do need to at some point, now that we're starting it, come up with what it's actually going to be called.
Ooh, okay. So here we go. Sci-fi story title generator.
Oh
Oh my
no.
stars.
Without number.
Horizons without number.
The asteroids of Vamptus.
I think one of the reasons that I even suggested New Horizons in the first place is because it is still New Horizons for our characters.
Mm-hmm. Right, and frankly, you guys didn't get too far over the horizon in the first campaign arc, so still a whole lot of horizon out there to be
The shade.
Newer Horizons.
explored.
The gall of this man to say we didn't get that far.
That was a
We've
lot
been-
of shade, man.
And we've
Newer
been in
Horizons.
this
No,
for how long?
that's no shade. I'm speaking in purely like astronomical terms. You covered like 4 star systems.
Oh, so it's the dismissive GM now?
I mean, hey, you guys can take it that way if you want. I am purely stating fact to support the idea that there are still new horizons to be discovered.
Newer horizons.
Oh no.
Newer horizons, okay. One vote for newer horizons.
I
I
heard.
mean, I would prefer Neo Horizons, but no.
Hey Ben,
Yes.
can we take 5?
Yeah, we could take 5.
Okay.
I'd rather. Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and wrap this one, and then we can take 5 before we fire it back up again.
Do
Okay.
we do favorites?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap! That was almost bad.
Yeah, final faves.
Yep.
I guess we do. Yeah, we're gonna about to run out of our time, but yeah, we should do that. Okay. See, I guess that's leaves me first, technically. Oh, let's see. On the spot, I think I would have to say, um, oh goodness, my favorite would be, I think my favorite would just be the personalized notes, or I should say envelopes, gifts.
Advise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, personalized goodbyes. Let's see, what Danielle?
Oh shoot.
This was your
I
idea.
got a quick one if you need
Yeah, shoot
Yeah,
for
go
it.
for it. Thank you.
We don't have to go in.
I kind of like the fact that Ben and Danielle planned something that surprised me, even though we did that sort of last minute sort of engagement arc there. That was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. All right. Danielle,
Um,
would you need to? Somebody else need to jump.
I would say I enjoyed getting to do all the personalized goodbyes, but most specifically, I enjoyed getting to finally have the video come together for Narrow.
Hmm.
Because Ben and I have been talking about how exactly to do that for like weeks now. So
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of an logistical behemoth, but yeah, I think it came out pretty well. Came out great. All right, Dex.
I mean, the whole thing.
all of it.
All of it.
Period.
Yes.
That's allowed in a finale episode.
I am gonna put out one specific thing that I thought was just kind of the icing, and that was the Twinkie map, because not only is it cute, but it also gives Nero something to hold on to.
True. Yeah, that was a great touch.
Yep.
Ethan. Ethan, do you have one?
Oh yeah, it's also the whole thing.
I loved the moment where like Brother Nick just comes in and he's just juggling whiskey bottles and he's just like, so she left. Like unimpressed Brother Nick was what I had in my head.
I I realized as I was thinking about it, another thing I really loved was you guys, as the players, running with the kind of curveball and coming up with your your bits of role play to sprinkle in there too,
Yes.
because I wasn't sure how much time I was gonna have or leave or whatever for people's reactions, or if people would be ready to do that. But you guys just jumped right in on it. It was good.
Which I think
Well,
is
that's
like,
part of why I wanted you guys to like read it and give me the time also to think of it. Like, I don't know, maybe Dex is faster on the draw than I am, but like I needed that that couple minutes.
Process.
I will say
Yeah.
is one of the main things I am going to miss about this group of characters was just how comfortable everybody was with these characters. That it was like second nature to role play as them, where it was like, oh, I know how Narrow is going to react to this. I know how Cade, Brother Nick, Saoirse, Java, I know what they would say, what they would do. So yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, your reactions to the goodbyes was so great. I think I almost liked that more than writing the goodbyes, was getting to hear how they were received and the reactions. Except for, we don't get Javas, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I'll hear it later. I won't hold it against Avery, is what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
True. All right, let's go ahead and take our 5. Go ahead and wrap the stream for the moment and pick it up in a couple minutes.
Okay. I'll go ahead and close this stream down.
Yeah.